Hi, my name is Jennifer and I am with the Education Department at Midland Center for the Arts. This week we are focusing on drawing and painting, so we get to be a little creative. So for this project, I'm going to show you how to draw in one-point perspective. One-point perspective is a method of drawing that makes things appear smaller as they get farther away. Just like in real life, if you were to look down the street, things would appear a little bit smaller as they got farther away. So for this project, you're going to need a piece of paper. I like using mixed media paper because it's nice for drawing on, but you can also paint on it, like I did with this one. And you're going to need a pencil. I am not going to use a pencil so you can see what I'm doing, but normally you'll want to draw everything using a pencil and then trace over it using a marker. That way you can erase if you make a mistake. For the final project, you can also paint it. I used watercolor paints for this, so feel free to get creative. You can also use colored pencils or crayons. So let's get started. So your first thing you want to do when you're drawing in perspective is to start with your horizon line. So that's going to be way in the distance where the land meets the sky. I'm going to put mine, let's see here, let's put it right here. You're just going to make your horizon line. Now, for one-point perspective, you need to select your vanishing point. So I'm going to draw a dot in the center. When you're using pencil, you can kind of erase that dot so it's not as clear after you're done with your drawing. So now, like we did here, I'm going to start with the road. So I'm going to put my ruler right in the center of that vanishing point. I'm going to select where I want my road to kind of start, and then I'm just going to draw a line. All right, now I'm going to go to the other side, and I'm going to try to make it about even with the other line that I did. Let's go over a little bit more, make sure I'm on my dot, and then I'm going to do another line. So now I have my road. My road's a little narrower than the road I did here, but that is okay. So now let's add a sidewalk. So again, I'm going to line my ruler up with that vanishing point. And then I'm going to make my sidewalk a little narrower than the road. It'll be a wide New York sidewalk. All right, let's do that. And then I'm going to go to the other side. And again, make my sidewalk. So this sidewalk's a little bit wider, but that's okay. So now, let's add some buildings. So this is kind of a fun part. So for the buildings, you're going to go straight up and down. And again, since I'm doing this in marker, I won't be able to erase the lines that overlap. But when you do it in pencil, you'll be able to erase those lines. So I'm going to start doing some lines that are going vertically, which is up and down. You want to try to get them as straight as you can get them. And you can vary the width of these vertical lines if you would like. All right, so now that I have our lines, I'm going to create the side of a building. And for the side of the building, you're going to want your ruler to be right in line or parallel to that horizon line. So I'm going to go like that. All right, and then for the front of our building, you're going to want to line it back up with that horizon line. Now I made my buildings a little bit shorter, so from this perspective, you might actually be able to see the tops of the buildings, so I could add those in. But you're just going to keep going, adding your horizontal lines and your lines that kind of match up with that vanishing point, and so you'll get something like this in the end. These buildings I did a bit taller, so you wouldn't see the top from this vantage point. So after you're finished drawing in all of your buildings, you can add your lines in the sidewalk. For those, you're just going to go horizontal again, so parallel with your horizon line. As you're adding them, you want to keep in mind that as you get farther back, your lines are going to get closer and closer together. And that's just because of that perspective. Keep adding in my sidewalk lines. And really, I kind of cheat the end of it since they're going to start getting so close together. I can just kind of hand draw those in. So then you can go ahead and draw your trees. So you want to remember your trees are going to be bigger in the foreground or the front of your painting, and your trees are going to get smaller and smaller as you go back. When I did my trees, I just kind of placed the top of one tree halfway across the top of the one in front of it. So that way it goes back and kind of follows that horizon line. You can also, if you want to, use your ruler again and say, okay, the tops of my trees are going to go back to that horizon line. So for this, you can just draw some trees, draw some foliage, and keep going. And so you'll want them smaller and smaller as you go back. And the pencil is so important, right? So if I drew these lines too tall, I could just erase them. For your lines in the center of the road, you're going to kind of do the same thing you did for the sidewalk and the road itself. You'll line up your ruler with the vanishing point, and you'll make a line, and then you'll line up your ruler again and make a line. Then you'll add in, you'll want to do this, you can use a ruler for this too. You'll want to add in your horizontal lines. And then once you have all of these lines in, you'll just erase the kind of continuous line in between so you create dashes in your road. Once you're finished, you can add the sunshine if you want over your horizon, maybe some fun clouds. Add some clouds here. You can make it a stormy day or a sunny day, and then you can add your color. So make sure to check out more virtual summer camp videos at the center and share your pictures that you create. We'd love to see your masterpieces.